Hey everybody, and welcome to Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody. I'm here with...
Leila Toba.
And this is my introduction to her.
Hello.
Here in LA, so I figured I would rope her into this. And she loves horror films, right?
Oh yeah, heck yes. Horror is my absolute favorite genre.
When did you get into horror films?
Well, it's really funny because I had much older siblings, so as a very small child, like 4 or 5 years old even, I would find myself sneaking around corners of the basement while my teenage siblings were up too late watching scary movies. And even though I wouldn't be able to sleep for weeks after seeing some of that stuff, it still was something I was always really drawn to and really excited about.
So you snuck into watching horror films?
Oh, absolutely.
You weren't allowed as a kid to watch them?
Not really, no. I mean, my mom was, a really good mom, and she didn't want me to watch that sort of stuff. She didn't want me to be around cussing or violence, Very traditional, old-fashioned kind of ideals on that, which is respectable, but... when you have older siblings in the mix, you're going to end up getting into some of their business, whether you're supposed to or not.
I was the same way growing up. I was not allowed to watch horror films, or even Ghostbusters scared me, So, as a kid, just the scene with Zool coming up and grabbing Sigourney Weaver and, taking her away.
Oh my gosh, that was terrifying.
Right?
When we were kids.
Yeah.
That was the scariest shit in life. Yeah.
Right? So that terrified me as a kid and made me have nightmares. And of course my parents are like, no more horror films for you. And of course I would still sneak them. So I was just like you.
It's funny. There was always this incredible draw to it, even though I knew it was the most horrifying thing in life. And I would watch the movies and I would close my eyes and my ears because I would even be too scared to hear what was going on. But for some reason it's as I got older and even as a young person, I always just loved it. There's always just that thrill and excitement of being between that place of life and death and the unknown,
yes.
The occult, just all the curiosity and all the imagination and creativity, not to mention the artism that has gone into so many of these films, like movies like Alien that really have very beautiful artwork, in the days before CG. These were the things that kind of gave birth to my love and appreciation of horror films.
I agree, especially with Alien. I love that. If you haven't seen it on 4K yet, I'll have to show it to you on that because it's just freaking more beautiful.
It's a date.
Yeah. So I roped her into this, and which wasn't very hard. I just asked her, and she was like, "Yes, I will jump on board that in 2 seconds." So basically, what was your first film, horror film that you ever watched?
Oh gosh. I believe, if I remember correctly, my very first horror film that I watched was A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my god.
And to this day, Freddy Krueger is still my very favorite horror movie villain, and he will always be the man who holds my heart.
Even the man of your dreams.
One of his knives. Yes, absolutely.
Man of your nightmares.
That's actually, it's funny because I wrote a sketch about that. That's really funny about Freddy Krueger called the man of my dreams, and that's essentially what he is. Yes, I love him very much. But it's really funny because, once again, going back to the fact that I have a brother who's about 10 and a half years older than me. When I was about 4 or 5, he's 16, he's a teenager, and he loved to play pranks on us. So I'm the fourth child of 5. We have 4 daughters and 1 son. My brother, the son, being the eldest, loved playing pranks on his little sisters. So if you're a child from the 80s, like my friend Jonathan and I are, we had dolls called Pee Wee Herman and Teddy Ruxpin. I don't know if you remember any of those things. Those are some major flashbacks. But one of the things that my brother did is that he took the Teddy Ruxpin doll and he took the soundtrack to A Nightmare on Elm Street because he knew how much it terrified me, and he somehow changed the mechanism in Teddy Ruxpin's eyes to roll around backwards in his head while playing the music from his tummy. The Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger
Is he a doctor now?
And he's not, as a matter of fact.
He should be.
But he really should have been. My brother's a genius. He really is. But it was hilarious because the Teddy Ruxpin doll used to just hold a tape in its tummy and it would tell you sweet stories, and they were really cute stories. But yeah, my brother somehow changed the mechanisms in it to torture us, and
That's funny.
it was horrifying back then, but looking back, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then we took our Pee Wee Herman doll and put it in the bathtub so it'd make like really distorted and terrifying sounds, because he is probably my first introduction to horror, was just my older brother.
You're playing pranks on you.
And playing pranks on me.
That's
and
awesome.
even to this day, like my sister has the Bride of Chucky doll, Tiffany.
What?
And for years when we lived together in our 20s, we used to just constantly play pranks with this doll. When we were serving tables, we would leave her in the back seat of people's cars. So when they'd get in their car, they'd see Tiffany in their rearview mirror. I mean, one day we played a prank on my older sister, and we had her step around in flour, like that you cook with flour.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had little footprints going outside of her bedroom door, and just left the doll there. And then to pay me back, the next afternoon I go to get in the shower, and Tiffany's standing in the shower waiting for me. And I think I screamed for about 10 solid minutes where I lost reality because I was alone in my apartment, and I was like, I had no idea,
Oh my God.
So yeah, in my family, there's a long-standing love of horror films and obviously pranks. So
pranks and horror films.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun and mischief and creativity that I've enjoyed, and it just seems to get better over the years.
I see that as a common theme in horror films anyways, pranks. Mm-hmm. Like, usually pranks gone wrong, and then somebody dies from the prank.
Oh God!
So thankfully that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Thankfully that hasn't happened. But you're right. Like, you ever see like Prom Night or those films where Carrie, like, pranks gone wrong. Mm-hmm. You don't want to fuck with Carrie. You don't want to pour pig's blood all over her head. Yeah. She's gonna be mad at you and try to kill you.
Wrong woman on the wrong day.
Yeah. Definitely. But and that's the thing. Like, we definitely love horror, both of us, and we have probably seen a good amount. There's stuff that we still haven't seen. We're not going to name them yet because they are going to be on this show this year, I think. There's going to be a few ones that I'm going to introduce you to. Probably you'll try to introduce me to a couple that you've seen that I haven't seen. And that'll be the plan, because...
And maybe we'll even take a trip down memory lane, and maybe we'll revisit Elm Street, and then...
Ooh, yes.
Kind of look at it with fresh eyes and see, because honestly, that... any of the Freddy Krueger, any of the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, like, I love to just go back, and Halloween especially, like, I love to go back and watch it constantly. So it would be really fun for us to get a chance to watch it together and maybe share what we feel about it now versus what we felt about it over the years.
See, okay, so I have to explain this. So a couple, months ago, I had asked Leila to be the host of horror, co-host of Horror Film Lovers. And she was like, I don't know, I guess we'll see when you get here. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. And now look at her. She's planning.
I'm planning.
Other episodes.
I'm here to shake shit up.
Yeah. So all of a sudden she changed her mind. So I guess she was more like, I don't know if you'll be here in LA or not, but if you are, we'll see. And of course she's here.
Yeah, but I mean, we're also lucky to have so much more time together than what we had originally expected.
Yeah.
So it's really nice for us to be able to get to do that. And get to share these movies and watch them together, and then be able to share our opinions on it.
We have our little horror movie nights a lot of times and stuff now, and that will end up with us doing videos and talking about them and everything. And I think we're also going to be doing stuff with the podcast and stuff like that, but that's just once a month. This is more, so this will be out at least, I don't know, if we can, weekly, because I think we'll have enough content for a weekly.
Even more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You all tell us.
You tell us. Do you guys want more stuff? We've got a couple reviews coming up, so expect those pretty soon. Yeah. And then we've got more reviews. We're going to keep doing those as well. We'll also probably see some newer movies, too. There's some big horror films coming out. I think The Grudge just came out, but honestly, not really excited about that. I didn't like the original, the original Japanese one, Ju-on. I wasn't a fan of the Grudge remake with Sarah Michelle Gellar.
It was definitely not one of my favorites. I love the concept and the idea, but it just didn't feel like it was fully executed enough for me. So I'm going to have to agree with you on that.
No.
It's kind of a so-so thing for me. It's not like that I love it, but also that I don't hate it. It's kind of just somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we could do that as well. Maybe we'll revisit it. Try to give it some fresh eyes.
Yeah, maybe at least the original, like because I've got to rewatch that because it's been a while, but
especially to see where it all came from.
Yeah, I mean Japanese horror is really good.
I love any kind of Japanese horror or Korean horror.
Or Korean horror. You were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the best horror films, in my opinion, definitely come from Korea.
Awesome. So there you go, Korea. Keep making horror films. All right. Well, thank you so much. And like we said, we're gonna be doing more stuff here. This is just kind of an update video, kind of show you where we're at right now, what's gonna happen for season 2. This is a pretty big thing because I just started Horror Film Lovers last year.
And he just moved to LA.
And I just moved to LA, and I was like, you know what? Let's make this season 2, even though we pretty much just started. And kind of make it like a clean slate where it's a whole brand new beginning of it.
Well, I guess you'll just have to watch and find out.
Yeah, so keep checking out. Subscribe. Give us a like. Let us know what you guys think. What do you guys want to see more of for the content? I know we'll be having more stuff that we'll be talking about. So let us know what you guys think and everything. And keep checking back. 2020 is going to be a fantastic year for this. Yeah. Okay, bye guys.